All right, everybody, welcome to Shreveport, Louisiana's Geek'd Con panel numero uno with the voice of Majin Buu. I forgot what his name is already other than Majin Buu. We're going to keep that because it's funny, right? Right. So the way we do this around here is I'll do a quick icebreaker question, then we'll turn it over to y'all to ask questions, get the answers you're hopefully looking for, and if not, boo-hoo, I guess. So, welcome. Find a seat, any seat. So to get things started, how does it feel to be down in Louisiana, Shreveport at Geek'd Con, having fun, getting to meet all these amazing fans?
Look, I'm having a great time, whether you know it or not. I am from Halt, Louisiana, so it's good to be home and see a bunch of family and friends and meet some new ones.
All right. Well, Mr. Mic Man right there, just if anybody's got questions, raise your hand. He'll walk the microphone over to you. You can stand up. Just feel free to ask questions.
All right. Now, I just letting everyone know, if you stop asking questions, I leave.
Ooh, me.
We've got a question. All right. Yeah.
Do you think you can defeat Goku?
I think I've proven that a few times. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, I did. That's it. Okay.
You got a question for him? You're thinking of one? Okay.
Who? Anyone else got a question?
All right.
How many people have ever watched Dragon Ball Z? Okay. Yeah, all right. We're outnumbering
Right.
the people who have it. That's
All
good.
right. So what got you into voice acting?
I was an aspiring actor in Dallas at the time. I'd come off of the road doing Barney, Purple Dinosaur, and got back into doing a comedy troupe with my friends from acting school. And two of my castmates, one Chris Rager, voice of Mr. Satan, and Mike McFarlane, who was the voice of Master Roshi. And they booked their parts and then invited the director, AKA Chris Sabat, to our comedy show. And he saw me do a character in the show called The Pillsbury Homeboy. And that was my take on the Pillsbury Doughboy getting jumped on his way home from school one day by a gang of Keebler elves. And of course, then he gets beat up and he goes home to nurse his wounds. He gets all triggered and starts listening to gangster rap and smoking weed, getting into trouble. And so I did the cute voice, but did a lot of cursing and redid Snoop Dogg's "What's My Name?" And Savage saw that and he goes, "I think I found the voice of Majin Buu." So next thing you know, I was in the studio the next day and recording Majin Buu for the first time ever. So the first thing you hear Buu say is the first time I ever recorded a voiceover.
Nice. Any question?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Two extra.
What's that?
Is this on?
Yes.
Okay, my two questions are, if Boo never held back, do you think that he could probably curb stomp Beerus? And the second question is, do you think he can say that iconic line from, I think it was Lord of Destruction, where he fights Beerus, Boo wants plenty?
What was the second part of that question? I'm sorry.
Would you repeat the line for?
Oh, that part. Yeah, sure. I absolutely, for the first part of the question, absolutely Boo is powerful enough to, destroy everything. Luckily, he just wants candy. And he doesn't want to destroy anything. And as long as everybody leaves his candy alone, everything will be just fine.
Because all pudding cups are for Boo!
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Any questions?
Who else?
Yeah. All right.
How easy was it doing the lines for Kid Buu?
Yeah, Kid Boo's a little harder. It's a little harder on the voice, but kind of like Fat Boo, he had 0 lines. So it would, It wasn't Shakespeare, let's be honest, right? But like the director, Barry Watson, when he cast me, he goes, Josh, Kid Buu, he's just old junkyard dog. He's just old junkyard dog. So I thought about what junkyard dogs are like. Anybody familiar? I mean, they will eat everything, including the metal wheel, right? I mean, they will. So every time I do the Kid Buu voice, that's what I'm thinking about, like chewing on a tire. And you see the animation too, it's drawn like that. He's just, yeah. Not the easiest, but you know, I've done a lot harder. Thank you for the question.
So, instead of voicing Majin Buu, if you had a choice to pick any other character, who would you pick?
Oh, I would want to do Mr. Satan. I want to take Rager's part. Do Mr. Satan. Yeah. Always teased him about that. It's fun because I can do Mr. Satan, but he can't do Boo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
My question is, out of all the Z girls from Walnut to Android 18, who do you say were the top three most beautiful and powerful?
Ooh, now you're gonna give me. I don't know much about the power level. I'm gonna be honest. If Boo wasn't in it, I didn't watch it. I'm a little conceited that way. I have 3 children, and I have very little time to do much else. But let's see. Man, I think you gotta go with Bulma, right? I like me some Pan and Chi-Chi.
She scares me sometimes.
Well, have you met Cynthia Crayons? She'll scare you too. She ain't playing around.
I've met both Monica and her as well.
They're great.
Monica's voice as Bulma scared me.
She ain't playing around either. No. I also love Meredith McCoy as Android. Which one? Is she 17, right? The blonde?
18.
18, thank you. See? If it ain't Boo, I don't know. I'm a bad historian. Don't ask me about any facts. But if you want to know about Boo, I got you.
How difficult, considering Boo was your first voiceover like that, how difficult did you find having to dub over a Japanese audio initially?
Well, we don't dub over it, right? Whenever we get the product, they just take all the sound off of it,
Right.
and just redo it. The difficult part is usually trying to fit the dialogue in the time allowed, and it's something that Funimation developed, Crunchyroll continues, and we kind of perfected the flapped, matching flaps. Like that wasn't a thing. As a matter of fact, I think it was exactly why I didn't like anime, or Japanimation as we called it back in the day, or foreign dubbed films, because it doesn't match the lips. My brain is confused by this. It can't, and now I got a better understanding of it, but we also have done a better job of syncing that up, so you aren't as taken out of what's going on, because wait a second, why is the mouth still doing but nothing's being said, or vice versa? They're saying all this stuff and the mouth is closed. Wait, how does that work? So that's really the most difficult part. And I guess probably a Goku would say the power-ups and fighting things, but that's they have episode-long power-ups, don't they? I can see that where that might be different. Yeah. Who else?
Not a Dragon Ball, but what would it take for you to get back in the big purple suit?
Oh, they just have to ask me.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
But the problem is that I can't, I don't jump around like that anymore. I have a totally replaced ankle. So my physicality isn't as much as it would need to be for that. And they moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it'd be cool. They, Carrie jumped in for, I think it was the 25th anniversary. They did a little something. They flew him out to put the costume back on. And to that effect, he didn't have to do any jumping around. He just hopped on stage, waved. I think he did I love you, and then went off. So, I mean, I'm down to do that, no problem. I can do that all day long. But I'm not doing 45-foot stages anymore.
So how long did you have to stay in the purple suit?
I did a meet and greet from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. one time. And I stayed in the whole time just because it was such a long line. It was at a Toys R Us, and these kids were all there with their parents. And I'm just like, dude, we're never gonna get through this. Like, they're like, are you ready for a break? I'm like, yeah, but there's no way. There's gonna be some mad people. Like, bring me a water. And so what I did, I got a water. They put it in the crotch. I went behind the curtain and I drank the water real quick. They handed me a handful of Starbursts. And I was able to hide them in my costume. And every once in a while I get thirsty and I just eat a Starburst, keep doing the meet and greet. But regularly our show was 2 hours right on the road. And then if you're doing the TV show, I think we did 2 hours was the limit that they'd keep us in, and they'd do a break. Of course, on the TV show, we had kids, so that helped. We had to stop. That lucked, yeah. That was lucky.
Yes. Were you more recognized for Boo or for Barney?
Well, more recognized as Boo. I think more people are surprised that I was in the costume. They had no idea that I did that. So that's pretty cool.
You got me. I saw them. I was like,
what? Really? What? That's usually the reaction to it. People are usually walk up, they're expecting to see all the anime stuff. They're like, what's that? You did the voice of Barney? I'm like, no. I wore the costume. Whoa. Really? Yeah. So that trips me out. I thought people would be mostly excited about the Boo stuff, but come to find out, no.
So, who was more fun, being Boo or Barney?
Man, they're totally two different things. You know what I mean? There were some really great things about. Overall, it's more fun to do Boo because I don't wear a 50-pound, 120-degree costume when I do it. There's times when the booth might get a little hot because I'm doing an aggressive scene or something. But yeah. And I don't have to jump around for 2 hours. And, I ate 4 meals a day, like regular size meals. Yeah, it was crazy. I gained an inch in my neck, making the mouth move, right? But after, when I got off the first leg of the tour, I was invited to a wedding, and I went to put my shirt on, and I couldn't button the collar for the tie. I had to go get a new shirt, and I didn't even know anything about neck sizes at the time either. So I went in to, get a new shirt. That's when I figured out, oh, I gained an inch in my neck from my last shirt. So yeah, another question?
Did you get to keep the Barney suit?
Oh, no. That thing was 6'5", and then the hips, like that. The gut was out to here, the tail was way out. We had giant road cases that were on, traveled on semi-trucks. They didn't go in a duffel bag or a suitcase. It took at least a couple of people to move them on and off trucks every city, up a ramp onto the stage. We did arenas all over the world. We did Toronto Skydome. That was wild. Toronto Skydome. That place is so big. The stage was on the pitcher's mound, and everything was behind it. Everything behind, the pitcher's mound was backstage. Just like, wow. I had to take a golf cart to the restroom from the stage. It was that far.
Got bigger now.
Yeah. And the roof was closed though. What's that?
I got a good joke for you.
Go on.
What do you call a sleepwalking nun?
Nothing?
A Roman Catholic.
Yes, that's a
Good one. That's a good one.
Can you do any of that Pillsbury Homeboy skit?
I can. Oh, there's no kids in here either. That's perfect. So, the Pillsbury Doughboy, instead of
Nothing says loving like my crescent rolls.
so he gets beat up, right? He gets all messed up. He's like,
Nothing says loving like the blunts I be puffing. What's my muffin bacon name?
yeah. All that, right?
I'm hollering 187 with my dough in your mouth, biatch.
It's scary how well you do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. You're just in time. We're taking questions. When you're ready, we'll give you the microphone and you can ask me a question. Okay? You don't have to go now. You can think of a question. We'll come back to you.
All right, getting back on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So since all the episodes were already filmed and everything, how many episodes would you do in a single time frame?
For my part, since he was, mostly a lot of giggling and laughing and fighting, I think I might have been able to do 2 or 3 episodes at once, and I'd do 2 hours, do a 2-hour minimum. I know that Schimmel and Sabat and maybe Vale and other guys that had some bigger parts, had more dialogue, that might take a little. They might do an episode in a couple of days. Back when we started, we were using, they had Pro Tools, it was the first Pro Tools, but we were still using tape to record onto. So not only were they having to reload tapes, Pro Tools and analog didn't always talk to each other well. So there was constantly, we're gonna take a 15-minute break. We gotta reload tape and reboot, and that's just, and now an episode could take 2 months, right? Because we'd have to first, in the beginning, we'd have to first get it from Mexico. because it would take too long to get from Japan, right? So we got the Mexican, the Spanish dub, right? That's what we translated from Spanish into English. So we weren't even translating from Japanese in the beginning. But it'd still take us 2 months to redo all of it. Nowadays, they do the simuldubs, right? Crunchyroll get it downloaded in the email or whatever, the Dropbox, in the morning. And it's on whatever, crunchyroll.com in the evening. Because they just said, can you come in? Action. Record it, put it on, and next thing you know, it's on. So that's how far we've come in 24 years. 2 months to hours.
The people who just come in, if you have any questions, just get this man in the hat's attention. They'll bring the microphone as close as possible for you to ask your questions.
Welcome. What you got?
I have a question. What was it like doing the voice of Barney?
Well, I didn't do the voice of Barney. At least I didn't get paid to. And you never heard me do the voice. But I heard it so many times in my ear, performing it, I can do it. What's your name?
Jay.
Jay?
And remember, Jay, I love you.
There you go, right?
Awesome.
Have that, right?
Any other questions? Oh, we got some. Goku just walked in the plot. Right? What's up?
What do you want?
I'm kidding. How are you? Come on in. Have a seat. That's it. If you guys have questions, raise your hand and they'll bring you a microphone. You can ask a question.
So how did it feel to play, are you Majin Buu or Kid Buu or all the voices?
Fat Buu, Kid Buu, and Evil Buu.
Oh,
Not Super Buu.
Oh, not Super Buu.
Not Super Buu.
Oh, okay.
That's Justin Cook.
How did it feel to play that role?
Feels great, especially when they pay me every Friday. Hello.
So, I heard you're pretty strong. You heard right. How you say after this we have a little sparring practice? I prefer pudding. Whoever wins gets pudding. Oh, well, you put it that way, you're on. All right.
Good stuff. Thank you. Anyone else? Listen, guys, this is not a joke. I will go and get a root beer float right now. If there are no more questions, I am craving a root beer float, and I will right now.
I think this big man's got a question.
Oh, hey, yeah. What's your question?
I love my daddy.
That is a great statement. You didn't even have to ask a question, did it?
I love my daddy.
That's right. Good man.
Good work. I'm gonna use that for my next audition. I love my daddy.
That's awesome. Good job. I need to sample that and make a rap.
Do you have any experience in like cartoon or radio voiceover as well, or is it just animation?
I've done a couple of radio voiceovers. Nothing crazy. I don't get the announcer voice. I was just a part in a couple of radio commercials. Cartoons I haven't done. That is what they call prelay, right? You record the script first and then they animate it to your voice. That's all Los Angeles. That's all Los Angeles. It'd be cool, but boy, I think maybe that unless they just know about me and want to give it to me, I think that ship might have sailed. I'm not moving to Los Angeles anytime soon.
Don't mind me. You got a question?
Is there any way you can make Boo say all these squares make a circle?
All these squares make a circle. That's weird. Better if they made a chocolate cake.
I'm just riffing.
All right. Do you have to? Do you do your voice work at your home, or do you have to travel to Dallas every time?
I go to the studio. Most people do. There's a few people that they do so much work that they have a crazy professional studio at their house, and it just makes sense for them to do that. For me, I prefer to go use their stuff, let them do it.
Spend their time.
Yeah, it's not that far for me.
Right.
Much easier. I mean, look, I would love, if I had enough to do, if I was doing like so much work, then I would invest in the time to just be like, yeah, dude, look, just tell me when to do it and I'll log on and you can record it.
I kind of brought up a question. Is VO your main line of work?
Yeah, I would say my main line of work these days is these conventions. I mean, that's really kind of that's our residuals. We don't get residuals for the stuff. We get a buyout. And while the hourly may sound great, if you get 2 hours and you got to hold that 2 hours for 3 months, not gonna do you much good. So, you gotta spread that hustle. You gotta do everything. You gotta audition for on camera. You gotta, maybe gotta take an extra job. Maybe wait some tables. Have a little side hustle. Some people don't. I do.
Do the work you have to do the work you love to do.
That's it. Yeah. Luckily, I'm able to mostly do what I want to do and love to do. But I also made it a point to be a goal, right? And let the outcome sort itself out instead of trying to concentrate on the outcome. You know what I mean? Just put myself in that position to be ready to achieve those things if they come along. Because this entertainment business isn't like you go and learn how to build a house and then you go get a job building a house as a car. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen. You can go to college, you can go to a Juilliard all day long, but if you don't do the work to put yourself in a position to use those skills that you learn, doesn't matter. There are people who don't have any of those skills that people have learned, but they do it. They put themselves in position, they have the initiative. Next thing you know, they're successful, and people are mad at them because they don't have the education or this, that, or the other thing, but that's why.
I work in IT, I totally understand.
Right, yeah. It's kind of universal, really. My man.
Hey, will you be in Dragon Ball Z Double?
I have no idea. I don't know. I will find out either when they call me in to do it. They won't say, hey, we need you to come in and do Daima or anything. They'll just say, hey, do you have this time? Yeah, all right, cool. And I'll go in and then it'll be, oh, there it is. And then they'll say, don't say anything about it. And then it'll come out and then you'll see it. Or it'll come out and I'll find out that they didn't call me for it. That's just how it is. If the fat one's in there, then odds are I'll do it. If he's changed or there's some whatever, then, and bets are all off anyway. Anything's possible. Japanese may decide, maybe different. You go, someone else. Possible, right? And it's their product, right? We've made them a lot of money for it, but we've made them more money. We've made Dragon Ball Z more money than they made on Dragon Ball Z in Japan. So, but they still, they're a little upset about that. They're not the happiest. They like the money, but there's a little matter of contention there, right? You,
Yeah, sure. All right, that's good.
All the time.
y'all know,
So-
right?
So they actually have control over who does the dubs?
Oh yeah. Now, talking about Sabat being a great dude, he has gone to bat for us so many times, and he is, if not 100%, the reason that we're all still involved. The ones that are, he's 99.99 repeating.
Does that have anything to do with Otaku 9000 and his production company?
Okratron.
Okratron.
Okratron 5000. Yeah, isn't that what it's called? Okratron 5000. 5K. Yeah. Well, that has become successful because he's a good dude and he did the work. And again, he went to bat. He has gone to Japan. He has talked to the people who run it, right? Nobody else in Dallas has done that. And if they did, they probably wouldn't go to bat for us.
Right.
They wouldn't have our best interest, but he does. And so if it doesn't happen, it's because he just wasn't able to do the deal. It's not because he didn't try.
Right.
But I don't think it's gonna happen.
So going off of that, I know the whole Team 4-star thing. I'm guessing Toei was really opposed to that as well, because I know Sabat was kind of in favor of them, like because he did have them cameo in that one season of Kai that we were obviously really heavily involved in.
Yeah. From what I know, Japan was not happy with 4-star. Sabat, some of us took it for the humor and parody that it was and dug it. And then some other actors took offense to it. And so that's where it went. And I don't know who or how much 4-star was contacted or what was said, but they took the hint. As you know, I mean, right? It just all of a sudden, where is it? Oh, it's not
So
happening.
is that probably part of the reason they didn't go forward with the Buu saga?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Exactly. Yeah, they were ready to, they were fixing to, but then they got big trouble, or as big trouble as they could get without getting, sued, arrested, and all that stuff. So yeah, that's exactly it.
So how often do you meet the other cast?
The conventions makes that more often these days. Back before these conventions, even in the past 5 to 10 years, I hadn't met half the cast because we really just barely pass in the hallway. If
Go ahead.
Do you ever talk to each other in y'all's voices?
not regularly. We might, if someone asked us to. I probably messed around with Rager in the Buu voice and him as Mr. Satan more than any other people have. But we're best friends. We've been friends since acting school. We were friends before I booked Barney, before anybody booked Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, we're kind of like brothers. We know how each other thinks. We can have fun like that, yeah.
So do you ever throw waitresses off or bartenders off whenever? Do you ever change your voice up for them?
Oh yeah. I love scam calls, spammers. Oh yeah. That's a challenge. I like to see how long it takes for me to make them hang up. In acting school, I went to a bar with my roommate, and he was really shy, and he wanted to meet these girls. And so I decided that I was going to use my British accent and go and meet them, and so that my friend could have a date or whatever. Well, we were going to have a party that weekend at my apartment because it was my birthday, and my roommate invited them to the party. I did not expect them to show up, because the whole time I was saying, can you show me how to do this country and western dancing? I don't know how to do that, right? Oh, I love your accent, it's so cute. You know, the whole night we're doing say goodbye, and fast forward a few days, party at my apartment. Friends from acting school, we're all, hanging out. Next thing I hear, Josh! Hey, Josh! Someone's here! Someone's looking for you. Turn the corner. It's the girls that I met at the bar. And I'm thinking, oh God, what do I do? Do I try to carry this on and not slip with all the other friends who know that I'm not from England, or do I, give myself up? And I said, hello, hi John L. Thanks for coming to the party. Listen, remember when I said I'm from England? Yeah. Well, I'm not. You're not? No, I'm from Louisiana. I was like, listen, I'm sorry. My friend wanted to meet you, and I told him I'd go and talk to you, and I didn't think you'd come to this party. I'm really, really sorry. I don't blame you if you want to leave or you're mad. And then she's like, I think that's cute. And we dated for a couple of weeks after that. But yeah, so one of the many fun ways I use my voice outside of the profession to pick up girls. But I'm happily married now. And she hates my voices.
So you said you worked with your best friend?
Yeah.
Okay. So did y'all get into it together? Did one of y'all get the other into it, or?
We were all doing the comedy. Me, Rager, and Mike McFarland, who's Master Roshi, along with a few other friends, were doing this comedy troupe. And Mike was already a fan of anime and Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and he was aware of its existence. And through that fandom, he found out that they were dubbing it right around the corner from where we lived. So then he found out that they were holding auditions for it. He went and auditioned for Master Roshi. Then he came back to rehearsal one night and told us he booked it, and Rager goes, wait, they gave you a part? And Mike was like, yeah. And he goes, if they gave you a part, they'll definitely give me a part. And obviously they definitely gave him a part, right? And yeah, they invited Sabbath to the show, and that's how I got into it. Yeah, it was definitely being in the right place at the right time. That answer the question? Yes. Okay. Making sure sometimes I can get off on a tangent.
We've got time for one more question.
Answer the question, Josh.
One more great question.
One more good one. It's got to be a good one, guys. All right, yes, from a new questioner.
I know you said you never did like cartoon work, but have you ever got the opportunity to script read like
on a round table, just kind of like bouncing off of each other?
No, maybe at a convention we've done that with the script. That's nothing that was gonna get aired or that I got paid for or anything. Probably the closest I ever got to it was animating the video for the Pillsbury Homeboy. I actually illustrated that myself, and I had someone put motion to it, right? And I synced the mouth. I did the audio for it. So and doing that is super fun, And again, that goes back to what I was talking about doing it. You can take all the classes. You can learn. You can go to school and learn how to do the digital stuff. There's people who definitely can do it way better than I did, that have never done anything with their degree. Why? There's plenty of valid reasons, right? But they just didn't. And there's plenty of people like me and worse, or less skilled, that took an opportunity or inspiration, drive, and just did it. Everything else and everyone else be damned. Sorry, I'm doing this. I may stub my toe, you know what I mean? Whatever, burn my hand, but I'm still gonna do this. I can relate. A lot, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of times I should not be here, but I didn't take no for an answer. I consider no being meaning reapproach. Reapproach. So yeah, thank y'all very much. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank y'all for coming to the Josh Martin panel.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me. Thanks for taking care of me. Y'all have a great weekend. Come see me at my table, all right?
Woo! Or I'll turn you to chocolate.